mentioning to you, and that's Exodus 2:23. And it says, after a long time, the king of Egypt died. The Pharaoh died. The Israelites groaned because of their difficult labor, and they cried out. Some scriptures say because of their slavery, they cried out. And their cry for help ascended to God because of the difficult labor. So God heard their groaning, and he remembered, somebody say remembered, his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God saw the Israelites, and he took notice, getting God to remember his promise. Abraham had been given the favor of God, and the promise had been passed to Abraham. And then the one that was to be slain on the altar, Isaac, Abraham, in complete and total obedience to God, took his only son up to a hill to slay him in the name of God. And before he could do it, because of his faithfulness, God stepped in and said, I will provide a ram in the bush for you. So Abraham got the promise, and then through Abraham, Isaac received the promise. And then as you know, in Genesis, Isaac is the father of Jacob and Esau. You do know about Jacob and Esau. If you do not know about Jacob and Esau, you should read it because it's an interesting story. Jacob is pretty much a trickster. He's a swindler. He's always stealing something, always lying about something. And he perpetually steals his brother's birthright. Now, Esau was born first, but Jacob came grasping his heel. All that fight even happened inside the womb of their mother. So the blessing of God, the covenant, I will make you a descendant of many nations. It'll be like sand on the beach, and you won't be able to count your descendants. That blessing started with Abraham, passed down to Isaac, and then to Jacob. We get to a point in Genesis, the very end of Genesis really, where there is the story of Joseph. If you know anything about musical theater or theater nowadays, there is a play called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And that story is based on the biblical story of Joseph. Joseph is the youngest of the children, and he gets this vision that he will be greater than his brothers. He will be greater than Reuben. He'll be greater than Simeon. He'll be greater than all his brothers. You do know there are 12 brothers, and this is where the 12 tribes of Israel come from. So Jacob's children are the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. So when you hear a reference about the 12 tribes, these 12 sons is where they come from. And so Joseph was going to kill him. And the only reason they did not succeed is because the eldest, Reuben, said, listen, this is the baby. You should not, let's not do that. Let's not kill him. Our mother and father would be upset. They would be hurting. They would be stressed out. And we are not going to be able to get away with it if our brother's blood is on our hands. So they sell Joseph into slavery. And all through slavery, he endures a tirade of struggles, frustrations. They put him in Potiphar, the servant of Pharaoh. They put him in his house, and Potiphar's wife does everything but try to rape him. This is what the Bible says. The Bible says she wanted to, do the thing, and he did not want that part. Okay, come on, don't get cute in here. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. She wanted him, and he did not want her. And the Bible says that he was fleeing from her, and it was so aggressive in that moment that she snatched a piece of his garment off as he was running away from her. And so she tells her husband, well, he tried to take advantage of me. And so the husband says, this young man tried to take advantage of my wife, throw him in jail. So they throw Joseph in jail. He went from almost being killed by his own brothers, sold to Egypt, almost raped, lied on, and now he's in jail. And in jail, he has an opportunity to share the message of God with the people in the jail. Isn't it interesting that when you reveal your dreams and your visions, it's the ones closest to you that can't stand you? It's the ones closest to you that say, you can't do that. I remember when you was in the street. I remember when you was doing this. I remember when you was doing that. I know you better than anybody else. Sometimes your blessing does not singing and the flowers are blossoming and you have money in the bank and everybody likes you and everybody loves you. Sometimes your blessing comes when nobody likes you, when people can't stand you, when nobody wishes you a happy birthday on Facebook and you feel like somebody's forgotten about you, when your account is negative something, in your savings you have absolutely nothing. It's when you struggle the most that your opportunity for a blessing comes. And so he goes to the Pharaoh. I've heard that you can read the visions of God. I need you to tell me, is something going to happen in the land of Egypt? And Joseph says, well, God is showing me that a major drought is coming. And you need to prepare for the drought that is coming because it is going to be ugly. It is going to be bad. And you got to prepare for it. And so because the vision came true, the Pharaoh said, listen, I'm going to make you my right hand man. I'm going to make you almost like next in line. And so Joseph, from slavery, becomes the right-hand man of the king. The Pharaoh is what Egypt called their kings. It's a pretty good story. Real nice. And it shows that the power of God can work in any situation. But my brothers and sisters, I did not tell you this story to preach about the goodness of Joseph. Sometimes when you are on one accord, when you are on the same page with somebody, you become an unstoppable force. You become an immovable object. That's why it's so important to strengthen your marriage. Because when you're in a relationship that nobody can get in between, you become an unstoppable force. That's why you need to make sure your household is in order. You need to make sure your children are in order. You need to make sure your family in general is in order. That's why the church needs to be in order. When you are not unified, it is easy to just do whatever you want to. But when you come together as a unit, watch out for the tactics of the devil. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. See, don't get it twisted. He doesn't come to make your relationships in your life better. He comes to destroy them. So anytime you feel pressure in a marriage, anytime you feel pressure in a ministry, anytime you feel pressure on your job, you must be doing something right because that